All right, welcome to our class today. We're going to learn about ropes and knots. My name is Angela Eggert Adams. I'll be your instructor today. Let's go ahead and get started. Ropes are a very important yet often overlooked piece of fire equipment. We study how to set up ladders, we study how to use our tools, but we very seldomly actually learn and practice using ropes. There are two primary types of ropes that we use in the fire service: the life safety rope and the utility rope. The life safety rope, it's used for supporting one or more people. It must meet the specific NFPA 1983 standards of construction. The two types of safety rope is a one-person rope that is rated for up to 300 pounds and a two-person rope that is rated up to 600 pounds. You do not ever use your safety rope as a utility rope. The utility rope is what we will use most often because in our departments we do not do rescue currently, so we do not do the rappelling and we do not typically use safety ropes. The utility rope, however, is not used to support weight. It's used for hoisting, lowering, and securing ladders, axes, exhaust fans, pipe poles, hoses, and other tools. Rope maintenance. There are four parts of maintenance: care, clean, inspect, and store. The care of ropes, which either safety or utility is the same. We protect it from sharp or abrasive surfaces. We protect from heat, chemicals, flame, and prolonged exposure to sunlight. Never step on the rope and follow manufacturer care guidelines. The sharp and abrasive surfaces could be the glass in a window if we should hoist into a window. If we are up top on the roof, the gutters, we have to watch gutters. We can lay a turnout coat or some other soft object between the gutter and our rope to keep it from fraying and getting caught. To clean our ropes, we use a mild soap and water. We can use a rope washer and a garden hose. Never use bleach. It will dry out your rope and make it brittle and therefore useless. We air dry it, but not in direct sunlight. You can use it, dry it in a commercial dryer on very low heat, like our turnout gear dryers. They will dry the rope, but you have to do it on very low heat. Inspecting the rope. Inspect after every use, and if you don't use the rope, make sure it's inspected on a regular basis, at least once a year. Twice a year would be even better. Inspect for cuts and damage. Maintain the record of your inspection, and the life safety ropes that can no longer be used can be downgraded to utility ropes. When you're inspecting your rope, do visually and by feel. If you see discolored places, it could have been exposed to chemicals. If you run your fingers over it and you find little knots or frayed areas, this is not a useful rope anymore as far as the life safety. You can still use this until it is frayed and repair. You can use it for a utility rope. You look for burns. If it has been burnt, is exposed to flame, go ahead and get rid of it. It is no longer useful. You can use the small pieces as practice rope for tying your knots, but other than that, do not use it in your service. Storing your rope. Avoid extreme temperatures and direct sunlight. Keep away from fumes, gas, oil, and other fluids. This includes when it's on your truck. When it is on your apparatus, make sure it is not stored in the same compartment as you store your fuels. Do not store heavy items on top of the rope. Do not store it wet or damp. This could cause mildew. Any questions so far? Some simple rope terminology. The working end of the rope is used to form your knots. So this would be your working end. The running end is used for lifting or hoisting, which would be your back end. The standing part is your area between your working and your running end. There are a wide variety of knots. Each knot has a different purpose and can be used on different items. Knot tying is a skill that should be practiced. It's one of those things that you can do literally sitting on the couch watching television. Just practice tying different knots. Firefighters should know how and when to use each knot. Due to time constraints, we're only going to learn about one knot today, which would be our clove hitch knot. This one is one we often use when we are hoisting our pike poles, our axes, Halligan tools. You use this when you are pulling up ladders because there is an open and a closed clove hitch. You simply hang the rope from the support, which would be whatever item you're lifting, loop around the support with the end, pass it from behind the rope, hang rope or pull tight, and then complete. When you are hoisting an item, you're raising and lowering tools to firefighters. You must ensure the rope is tied securely to the item being hoisted. Make sure receiving firefighter can quickly remove the tool to use. If the firefighter that you're sending the tool to has to work getting it undone, then there's time wasted, whereas could be done much quicker if he knew how to undo the tool. Make sure no one is standing under the hoisted item. If something happens and your knot slips, that item falls. If someone is under it, we have an injury. Know in what position each tool should be hoisted. An axe should be hoisted vertically with the head down. A pike pole is hoisted vertically with the top up. A ladder is hoisted vertically, etc. And you will learn in a more extension of a class how each item is hoisted. A dry hose line is easier to hoist than a charged one, simply because of weight, which makes complete sense. We are going to watch a short video.
Tying a clove hitch knot. What you're going to do is you want to take your rope, throw it over your object, give yourself enough here. You're going to come over and across, back over your object, just like this. You're going to come all the way around it, under itself, and back up. And that's your clove hitch. So there's another way to tie the clove hitch knot. What you want to do is you want to create 2 underhand loops. So 1, 2. Now with that second loop, all you want to do is just put it over your first one. Then you place it on your object there. And you got your clove hitch now. Before you go, I want to teach you some rope terminology that will assist you in tying your future knots. So let's start with this rope. The end we begin to start our knot on, that's known as the working end or running end. The opposite end is known as the standing end. Now you may also hear the term loop, and there's a lot of confusion that happens with a loop. So here's a loop. This is an overhand loop because the working end is over the standing end. Now if you reverse that, this is known as an underhand loop because the working end is underneath the standing end. You may also hear the term turn. That means you're just going over an object like this. You're not going completely around, you're just kind of like a bend over it. That's a turn. Now, if you go all the way around an object and you create that loop there, that's called a round turn. Another term you may hear is a bite. That's pretty much when you take one part of the rope and you touch another part of the rope. That's a bite. A bend is just simply a bend. It's not a bite, it's a bend.
Okay, we're gonna tie a rope to an axe for hoisting. So first thing I would do would be to pull enough rope from the top side so that I can use the same rope as a tag.
We are having technical difficulties, of course.
Tie this, anywhere in this.
I'm your huckleberry.
So to overcome that issue, we will bring it to you. Pretty simple. That is our clover hitch, and that is one that we can use when hoisting our tools. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your attendance. Have a good day.